Hi, I'm Cherry. Today I'm making some pork and chive dumplings. So here we have some minced pork and also some chive. It is actually quite a meaty dumplings. The chive is really just to add a kick to the dumpling itself. So imagine juicy, meaty dumpling pan fried with a bit of black vinegar and soy sauce. So first we're gonna prepare the minced pork. Put all of this in a bowl. And then we're gonna put some white pepper, some ground ginger, some cornflour. We need some salt and a bit of sugar. We also need some sesame oil, soy sauce, and some Shaoxing wine. Okay, we're gonna need to stir this in one direction. So normally, you can use your hand. I normally use my hand at home. Or you can use chopsticks. Just basically mix everything together. You will see the meat will absorb all the liquid. And then it more like become a paste. You need to be quite patient. So for the recipe and the measurement that I give you today, you can make 30 dumplings. Now you can see them coming together nicely. I need to add a bit of water. So 1 tablespoon at a time until it all absorbed by the meat. You will need around maybe 4 to 5 tablespoons for 250 grams of minced pork. So now we have mixed the minced pork for a while now, maybe a good 3 to 5 minutes with all the water required going in to a consistency where it's almost like a really soft meat paste. Okay, now I'm going to chop the chive. As I said before, this is just to give it a bit of a kick. So you don't really feel the texture, but more like the flavor. So they will sort of disappear. So we're just gonna put this directly in there now. Right, so same thing, we're gonna mix them together in one direction. So the reason why we want to do it in one direction is that we want them to form a paste. We don't want the meat to go into lumps and different pieces. So that it's easier to wrap or form a meatball if you like. So here you go. This is the dumpling fillings. So here we have around 300 grams plain flour. And I got them from my local Chinese supermarket. They are specifically for making dumplings. Alternatively, you can also use just normal plain flour. When they're out of the packet, they're a bit lumpy and it's not great for making dough like this. So I normally sieve them. Now all the flours are in this big bowl. Now we have around 150 ml of water here, just room temperature. We don't want to add them in one go, bit by bit. So make a hole in the middle, like that. That. It will slowly come together. Okay, so as you can see, now all the flours and water mixed together and we have a really, really rough dough. Don't worry about this. And then we're gonna transfer the dough onto the worktop. Okay, so at this point, crumbs will come out, doesn't matter. Start kneading. So generally, what I do, I knead it for around 3 to 4 minutes. It will still look quite rough, which I will show you in a minute. And then rest for 10 minutes. Knead again for 3 to 4 minutes rest 10 minutes again, knead again, and then rest it for maybe half an hour to an hour. And then we can start making the wrappers. So it's quite ugly at the moment, but trust your dough, do what I just described to you. Knead, rest, and then you will have a really smooth dough. So when you rest it, wrap it in cling film or use a plate to cover it. Otherwise it will dry out, okay? So after all the kneading and resting, this is what your dough should look like. A lot smoother than when I showed you earlier, and stretchy as well. Right, so we're just gonna knead it a little bit more after the long rest. Okay, so now what we do is we make a hole in the middle, work your way out like that. Okay, now you've got a ring, then you've got to take it off, more rolling. So we've got a rough long tube here now. So we'll cut a bit off. So that's pretty much, so around 15. And you're just gonna keep going. Keep going. So that's the last one. And this make around 30 to 31 little dough, and each of them weighs around 13 to 14 grams. Right, so we have 30 to 31 mini dumpling wrappers that we need to make. They don't need to be perfectly circle at this stage. You can just sort of turn them, make them into nicer, rounder. Use this part of your hand, press it on the side so they more or less become a circle. You need a rolling pin. You don't use the one that's too thick. This, turn it, and then do that again. Now you sort of stretch it a bit. Then you use the force the way down, but not the way up, okay? So you sort of like one, turn, down, down. What you want to achieve is the surrounding bit is thinner than the middle, because the middle part, it needs to hold the filling. So we keep going for a little bit longer. Stretch it out a little bit. Put it on your hand like this. Get a little spoon, or you can use a knife or palette knife even. Press it down so that the back of your hand look like that. So the filling will sit comfortably inside the dumpling. So if you look here, the bits that are not really tall enough, you can just pull it. So it's okay. I'm gonna do 5 folds on each side. Okay, so that pinch, push and pinch. That's the last one. One side. And then the next one. There's no rules for how many folds. You can do 10 on each side if you can, if you want. It's really something that you do it at home, and as long as it's tasty, then it's good. So at the top of your dumpling, I tend to pinch them a bit more to make them thinner, because this is where we have loads of fold and our dough will be a bit thicker. Okay, so there you go, you have a dumpling. Okay, so you just need to repeat this for the next 29, 30 dumplings, or as much as you like. The dumpling is best to keep them in the freezer, therefore keep them in the fridge, and they can be consumed within a month in the freezer. Okay, so we have a flat bottom frying pan here. Put in the oil, because it's non-stick, so it doesn't need a lot. Now we're gonna put them one by one. Okay. Now, while we wait for the dumpling to get crispy at the bottom, we're gonna make a very, very simple dipping sauce. It's just basically made of equal parts of light soy, black vinegar, and chili oil. Okay, so that is our dipping sauce. So now, after around 3 minutes or so, we got this beautiful color and crispy bottom. It's time to add some water. Add the water until sort of just cover the bottom. Cover, high heat. Now the dumplings are cooking in sort of a steam environment created by the water. It will take around 8 minutes to 10 minutes, depends on how big your dumplings are. And then we will remove the lid and then let the water reduce. Keep medium to high heat all the way through, otherwise you will get a really soggy bottom. Okay, so 8 minutes has passed. Let's take a look. And there you go. We keep high heat and then wait for around 2 minutes until all the waters are gone. Then we can plate it up. Right, let's plate up. Let's take a look. And there you go. I hope you will try making these dumplings at home. Hope you will enjoy making them. See you next time.